All right, we'll start with a prayer. Led by Campbell.
Dear God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for everything that you bless us with. We pray for Pastor in Jesus' name. Amen.
Okay. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Exodus, the letter to the Romans, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, Galatians and Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, 1st and 2nd Timothy, Titus and Philemon, Hebrews, James, 1st and 2nd Peter, 1st and 2nd and 3rd John, Jude and Revelation. Matthew 1 and 2.
Jesus' birth and family, Matthew 1 and 2.
Matthew 3.
Jesus' baptism, Matthew 3.
Matthew 4.
Jesus' temptation, Matthew 4.
Matthew 5 through 7.
Sermon on the Mount, Matthew 5 through 7.
Matthew 8 through 9.
Jesus says power over the physical spiritual realms, Matthew 8 through 9.
Matthew 10.
12 apostles, Matthew 10.
Matthew 11.
Jesus meets strong disciples, Matthew 11.
Matthew 12.
Jesus on the grain field, Matthew 12.
Matthew 13.
Parables of the kingdom, Matthew 13.
Matthew 14.
Feeds 5,000 and walks on water, Matthew 14.
Matthew 15.
Heals the Gentiles' daughter and feeds 4,000, Matthew 15.
Matthew 16.
Jesus' church prophesied, Matthew 16.
Matthew 17.
Jesus' transfiguration, Matthew 17.
Matthew 18.
Be humble and forgiving, Matthew 18.
Matthew 19.
Divorce and remarriage, Matthew 19.
Matthew 20.
No rank in the kingdom, Matthew 20.
Matthew 21.
Jesus enters Jerusalem, Matthew 21.
Matthew 22.
Israel rejected, Matthew 22.
Matthew 23.
Pharisees condemned, Matthew 23.
Matthew 24.
Destruction of Jerusalem, we're told, Matthew 24.
Matthew 25.
Miracles of virgins and talents, Matthew 25.
Matthew 26.
Jesus betrayed, Matthew 26.
Matthew 27.
Pilate and crucifixion, Matthew 27.
Matthew 28.
Resurrection and commission, Matthew 28.
All right. Where would you turn in your Bible to read about the 10 plagues? Rylan?
Numbers 13.
Negative. Katie?
Exodus 7 through 12.
Exodus 7 through 12. Where do you read about Moses sinning against God? David?
Numbers 20.
All right, what's Leviticus 10 about? Camp?
You done invited?
Never mind you. Where do you read about the 10 good spies, Rylan?
And where?
Yeah, the 10 good spies. That's right, the 10 good spies. Where are they at? Okay, listen. Numbers 13. 10 good, too bad. The way all customers said, I had it backwards. Oh, good. All right. Two good spies, too bad. Yeah. All right, where do you read about Korah, Dathan, and Abiram rebelling against Moses? All right, number 6, or number 16. Gotta be back in the zone here for so long, right? All right. What's in Numbers 21? Numbers 21. Katie? Bronze serpent. All right. What's 1 Samuel 15? Baby?
Saul and the Amalekites.
All right. Where do you read about Hannah? Okay, listen. 1 Samuel 1. Where do you read about the guy that put that spear through those people for misbehaving? Okay, Evie.
Numbers 25.
Who was it? Phineas. Okay. What's 2 Samuel 6? All right, White.
Was in the yard.
Was in the ark. Where do you read about David and Bathsheba? Okay, Rylan.
2 Samuel 11.
Okay. What about maybe a sauropod dinosaur? Camp 40 and 41. Behemoth and 40 and Leviathan 41, right? What's 2 Kings 5 about? Katie? Name is leprosy. Where do you read about Elijah hiding in a cave? Okay, Celeste. Okay, and what's 2 Samuel 11?
David and Bathsheba.
Where do you read about, or what's in Matthew 13? Matthew 13. Melissa? Or someone, right? Where is Mark's Great Commission? Okay, Rylan?
Mark 16.
Okay, what's Matthew 19? Okay, Cam?
Divorce marriage.
Okay, what's another thing we learned about Matthew 19?
Preach and ruler.
Okay. What's Luke 2 about? Okay. Birth of Jesus. Where do you read about the prodigal son? Prodigal son. Evie?
Luke 15.
Okay, what's in Luke 23? Okay, Wyatt. Davey?
Can you repeat the question?
What's in Luke 23?
Jesus crucified.
Okay. What is John 8 about? Rylan?
The adulterous woman.
Okay. Where do you read about Jesus' ascension in Luke? Okay, Cam. 24. And where do you read about the 7 churches of Asia Minor? 80.
Revelation 2 and 3.
Revelation 2 and 3. All right, good. Proverbs 16:18. Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Proverbs 16:18. Proverbs 19:27. Cease listening to instruction, my son, and you will stray from the words of knowledge. Proverbs 19:27. Proverbs 19:27. All right, where would you turn to read about how a careful person tries to look ahead and see danger and avoid it, and it's the simple-minded person that doesn't look ahead? All right, right?
Proverbs 22:3.
All right, what passage tells us that part of child rearing is practicing with your child, training the child? give me a passage that says that you should whoop your kids if you want to save them from hell. Okay, David?
Proverbs 23:13 and 14.
Okay. And what passage would tell us that it's better to go ahead and confront somebody and tell them if they're doing something wrong than to not tell them in the name of love? Okay, Cam?
Proverbs 27:5.
Good. All right, what passage tells us that if you take God's revealed word out of society, people start casting off restraint, going crazy? But if you want to be happy, you'll keep God's law. All right, Evie?
Proverbs 21:18.
Okay. What passage tells us that when you're trying to find a good woman to marry, you should look for somebody that is a faithful follower of God rather than somebody that's just charming and beautiful? All right, Celeste?
Proverbs 31:30.
Okay. What passage tells us that there is not such a thing as even a person that is a just person that doesn't also struggle with sin? Okay, Davey.
Ecclesiastes 7:20.
All right, what is the passage that tells us you should try your hardest, everything you're doing? Everything you do, try your hardest. Okay, Rylan.
Ecclesiastes 9:10.
All right. What passage gives us the whole purpose of life? Purpose of life. Okay. Evie.
Ecclesiastes 12:13 and 14.
Okay. What passage tells us that God puts a woe on people who call things that are good bad and calls things that are bad good? All right, Katie?
Isaiah 5:20.
All right, give me an Old Testament passage that prophesies that the Messiah would be called God. Okay, Rylan.
Isaiah 9:6.
Okay. And what passage says that you can't think that you know what God would like or not like without Him telling you, because His ways are higher than our ways and our thoughts, all right? Cam?
Isaiah 15:5.
Oh. Davey?
Isaiah 55:9.
There you go. So just mixed a couple of those letters. All right, what passage tells us that when we sin, it will separate us from God? Okay, you got it.
Isaiah 59 verses 1 and 2.
Good. All right, what passage tells us that you shouldn't try to live your life just using your own judgment? Instead, you should put you should look to God to make sure you're looking for direction for your steps. All right, David?
Proverbs 3:5 and 6.
Okay, what's another one? Rylan?
Jeremiah 10 verses 1 and 2.
Jeremiah 10, yes. Know the way of man is hiding himself. read. All right, what passage tells us that you better be sure to warn people whenever they're doing things they shouldn't, otherwise God will hold you accountable for not confronting people about their error. All right, Davey.
Ezekiel 3, verse 18.
All right, Ezekiel 3:18. 2 Timothy 4:3-4. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but according to their own desires, because they have itching ears, they will heap up for themselves teachers, and they will turn their ears away from the truth, and be turned aside to fables. 2 Timothy 4:3-4. Mark 10:6. But from the beginning of the creation, God made the male and female. Mark 10:6. Luke 11:50-51a. That the blood of all the prophets which was shed
From the foundation of the world may be required of this generation.
from the blood of Abel to the blood of Zechariah. Luke 11:50-51a. 2 Peter 3:3-6. Knowing this first, that scoffers will come in the last days, walking according to their own lusts, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. For this they willingly forget that by the word of God the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of water, and in the water by which the world that then existed perished, being flooded with water. 2 Peter 3:3-6. All right, what passage tells us that God commanded the earth to reproduce according to its kind of creature? All right, Cam? And this is 124. What passage tells us that there are laws of science that govern the universe that God put in place? All right, Ryland?
Job 38:33.
All right, what passage tells us the second law of thermodynamics, written 3,000 years ago by the hand of a Bible writer? Okay, Davey.
Psalm 102:25-27.
Okay. What passage tells us the law of biogenesis? Life doesn't come from non-life. Instead, God is the one that gives life. All right, Edie?
Genesis 1:24.
Okay, Ryan?
Acts 17, verse 25.
Acts 17:25. You don't know which one you're thinking about. What passage tells us that it's basically the law of cause and effect? Okay, Celeste. Hebrews 3:4. What passage tells us that everything was made in the universe out of things that are not physical? All right, Riley?
Hebrews 11:3.
All right. What passage does God call an atheist a fool? Katie?
Psalm
14:1. And what passage is astronomy encouraged by God? Okay, Ryland. That's Psalm 19:1. What passage do we learned that in the flood, the big mountains formed. All right, Kim.
Psalm 102, verses 16.
Ooh, close. Davey.
Psalm 104, verses 16.
Psalm 104:69. All right, we're running out of time. What passage tells us that really there's no such thing as races to God because everybody came from one person, one blood? Which tells you that racism is pretty stupid from a biblical perspective. All right, Celeste.
Acts 17, 26 and 27.
All right, good. All right, let's see. Christ built his holy church. It is the church of Christ. It will be saved in the end. It is his holy bride. The saved all become Christians and are added to the church of Christ. If I want to be saved, I'll go in. What does his church look like? Pastors or elders or overseers, they are all one and the same. Qualified men never only one, they watch over the souls of the saints. Deacons or ministers or servants are said, they are all qualified too. Preachers and teachers, evangelists, the word they teach to you. Christians are called by various names, brethren and saints and priests, disciples and soldiers and sons of God, spreading Christ's gospel of peace. Don't forget to read your Bible and do your advanced Bible reader. What's God's plan for the home?
One man, one life for life.
Let's try that again. What's God's plan for the home?
One man, one woman for life.
Who's God wants you to marry?